Hi, my name is Melinda. I was part of a team that was ranked #1 out of 2,500 funeral homes. And I've developed many techniques over the years. I would consider myself a master embalmer. So I wanted to go online and discuss why the most important aspect of a traditional American funeral is how healthy and how like themselves we can make somebody when they are being presented for their wake. So, a lot of people, a lot of families can decide whether or not they ever go through with the funeral based on embalming that they've seen, or rather how that end result of somebody who's in a casket. I myself, when I was a teenager, I still remember exactly how this relative looked in their casket. And had I known back then, or rather, if that was my only experience with embalming, I, as an adult who if I had went into a different industry, I don't think I would ever want to choose a traditional open casket if I thought that every single person would wind up looking the way the relative that I saw when I was a teenager would look, or ended up looking. Okay. I really want to drive home that embalming makes or breaks whether or not people choose to have a traditional funeral, and it can affect all of us for years to come. I used to have families, when I sat with people, tell me outright, we come here because you make people look incredible. This was at another funeral home. But point being, people will choose you over another funeral because that person looks exactly like themselves. I wanted to do a series and go over exactly what it is, nuances to embalming, certain tips and tricks. I was also considering at some point doing consulting or, a master class. My restorative art, I guess I'll talk about that at another time. But I'm also a fine artist, so I did that. I do portrait work. I have another account that's specifically for art. Probably should have just went to art school, but I didn't, and I'm here. And if this helps some family out there and makes seeing that person one last time a little bit easier for them, then I want to pass on the information as an act of goodwill to the industry I've chosen. And I know how meaningful it is to people, and it's the difference between somebody choosing a closed casket or a direct cremation. Because if you do talk to people, it turns out that a lot of people don't want a funeral just because of a poor result. And too many times I've seen businesses treating embalming like it's, okay, we did it, it's done, a check off on a list. But it absolutely will make families change what they decide to do. And I think embalming is incredibly, incredibly important. Quick disclaimer, this is the first time I've ever done a video. I don't really talk online. I'm a private person, frankly. But I'm going to do my best to pass on information and, see what techniques I can pass on or what else. I'm rambling a little bit here, but okay. I guess that's enough. Thank you for listening. Here we go. Have a good night, everybody.